I think I've currently got 3 websites sat on my server from customers who have just disappeared. They've just ghosted me, and this has happened over the past 3 years. So ultimately, it hasn't happened very often, but it is happening and it's pissing me off. So the main reason for this video is to get some advice from you guys. Let me know in the comments, what are you doing to stop people from signing up, still paying you, and then disappearing, and you not being able to kind of completely sign off, finish that project? And as I said, I've still got them sat on my server today. I don't know whether I should delete them or not, because they might turn up later down the line and be like, okay, I'm ready to proceed. I mean, some of them, it's been over 2 years, so I very much doubt that that's going to happen. But still really, really bloody frustrating. There are a few changes that I have done over time to prevent this from happening. So the first thing that I did was obviously have a contract, and that's why everyone should have a contract, because I think it does kind of stipulate what each party is responsible for, and things like that. What I didn't do originally was be super specific about timeframes and deliverables. So that's something that has been written into the contract these days. And also something else I didn't do originally was take deposits. So it was very easy having a pretty poor contract and not having a deposit for a customer to say, yes, we'd like to go ahead, and me go through the process of working with them, designing something custom, and then sending it over to them only to be ghosted. Or designing it, getting sign off and building it, and then being ghosted, which has also happened. The other thing that I have obviously now started doing, which I'm sure if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll be aware of, is charging a deposit. And I actually charge 50% up front, because in my head, this acted as a real commitment from their side. They've got skin in the game, and so they've paid. They're going to want the rest of the project completed. They're serious about getting a new website. They've invested 50% already. And so in my mind, I thought that would be enough. And for the most part, it is. I think it's still a very good way to do things. I don't think it's feasible to ask for 100% of the payment up front. I don't think that they would go with that. I think it's unfair for you to request that, unfair for them to pay up front while you haven't delivered any of the content. But potentially that is an option. So if you are someone that does charge 100% up front, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to explore how that works in more detail. I am taking that 50% up front. There has still been 2 people on that model that have ghosted me. So I guess I can feel comfort in knowing that I did receive something. So it's not like I've been completely shafted. I did get the 50% up front, and so I have made some money, and the loss feels a little bit easier to swallow. However, one of the projects I was paid up front, I did the design myself, and then I just handed off the development to my developer, and he did the build. So I've had to pay him for the time. So actually, the only thing I've lost there is my time, but there's still a lot of frustration with that company just completely ghosting me. More recently, the customer who is ghosting me, I don't have their website built on my server. So actually, in fact, this has happened 4 times, because I've got 3 built on my server. 1 is in the design stage, and that's where this is now. They've just completely disappeared off the planet, and I'm still waiting for them to maybe pop up again. But I'm kind of left in this position where, yes, I received 50% of the payment. I've maybe done 50% of the work. So I'm happy to call it quits. But when I'm in a position where I feel like I've made a loss, these websites are built on my server and I haven't received payment, I haven't received final payment, and they've not been launched, that's frustrating me. So what I think I might do going forward is perhaps either create different milestones for payment. So 50% up front, 25% on design completion, and then the final 25% on development completion, which would probably help. Or I would probably look to write into my contracts something along the lines of payment will be taken 90 days after the first payment, or after, depending on whether I do 50%, 25%, 25%. Maybe the 25% will be taken 2 months after the first one, and then the final one will be taken like a month after the second one, whichever comes first. So I could say it will be taken X amount of days after the deposit payment, or on project completion, whichever comes soonest. I think that's probably that would probably work best. Does anybody watching this also, do you ever take automated payments. So you collect the deposit through, for example, Stripe, you get their card on file, and then you just auto bill the remaining payments if they do happen to ghost you. I'd be interested to see whether that model is working for anyone, because I do believe that if you took the final payment, what they had originally agreed and signed up and signed the contract for paying, if you take that payment and they're ghosting you, it's probably going to kick them up the ass to get back in touch and get that project finalized, right? So there certainly has been mistakes that I've made with my terms and conditions within the contract in the initial circumstance, not having a contract or having a strong contract, I would say. And just my whole way of managing payments. I'm sure it's happened to you guys. I know it's happened to people within my community that I'm supporting. But I want to know, for me, this is still happening. So I want to know from you how you're getting around this. Maybe someone that's been doing this a bit more than me, a bit longer than me, more experience, or even in those that are still new but doing very, very well within their business. Let me know how you're getting around this, because it's starting to piss me off. 4 customers in 4 years, which it's averaging 1 a year, but it's still fucking annoying. So let me know. Let me know in the comments what your recommendations are. I'd love to hear them. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.